Welcome, guys, to Rebel Rock, episode 7. This is a weekly show. We talk about rock and roll, punk rock, music. We just have fun. We chat with you guys. I am Dan. That is Nick Grandchamp.
Yes, it is.
It
it is. And do we have a story? Do I have a story?
Well, hold on. Because you're the headliner. You are the headliner this week.
Do we have a story? Do I have a story?
Hold on. All right, my bad. I have my YouTube still on there. So hear this. We got to talk a little bit before we get. You have a show review you're going to reveal a little bit later in the show.
Yes.
You saw a live show, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to give it about 5-10 minutes. Let some people get in here first.
Yes.
So we can talk about when there's some people. In the chat already, we see my homie Jeff is here. Jeff, good to see you tonight.
Thanks for joining, Jeff.
Man, I wish I had a lot of rock and roll in me right now, but I feel defeated because I worked 55 hours this past week.
55. You worked 55 last week, didn't you too?
Yeah. No. 51 was last week. So this past week was 55. The week before was 51. The week before that was 49. So,
dude, I mean, at this point, you can't. It's already been a year and a half into COVID. These hours shouldn't be that. But as with your job and same with mine, we're freaking completely understaffed. It's not even funny. And a lot of places are. In fact, I have a small little story about being understaffed. I went to see my brother-in-law in West Leb. I drove by the KFC Taco Bell, and they have a big sign out front. Sign-on bonus, $1,000. Yes.
$1,000 bonus.
Dude, this is how bad it is to get people to work right now because, no one wants to. So I don't know the clause or if you have to work 6 months or a year before you get that $1,000. I'm sure it's something like that. Just they don't give you $1,000. Here's your job. But to me, COVID happened. People went on unemployment. They were making good money, which, okay, I have no issue with. But now it's that much harder to get these people back because I can't blame them. You're getting the cake. You're going out in the mountains hiking. You're going and do whatever you want. And you're getting paid more than you would work a full-time job. So, yeah.
But the thing is, here's a funny thing about that. I don't know a single person that's still unemployed. So who are these people then? Because I don't know them.
They're still out there, some of them. But I mean, some people banked it. I mean, if you're getting that 1K a week, even if you spent 2 or 3 on something you want, you're still banking 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. No, it would.
And if you're living at home, or if you're someone who doesn't have a damn rent, right there. I mean, freaking a month right there, you probably saved $3K. That's with buying groceries. Pretty damn close.
Yeah. No, it's true. But with all this happening, so understaffed, it just makes everything really tough to fire up music, to play the guitar, to write, to do anything, because it's so your days off are pretty much spent doing fucking laundry and cleaning the house.
Trying to get your head in the game and whatever you want to do. I know today was that day for me. Trying to figure it out, trying to sort through my head and what I had to do, what I want to do. Ugh.
Yep. Crazy stuff. Retro Sean's here. What's up, Sean?
What's up, Sean? Thanks for joining, buddy.
All right. You know what? Why don't we get into it now? So we have a few people in here hanging out.
All right.
You went to a show this past week, did you not?
I did.
Who did you go to see and where?
All right.
Tell me the whole story.
You want the whole detailed story?
Give me the whole story.
All right. So Friday night, I'm at work. I'm browsing the Instagram. And I follow Dinosaur Jr. And I see a picture they posted on their feed. They say, come see us this weekend. And they had the links, Keene, New Hampshire. And then they were playing Connecticut on Sunday. They had links to both. I said, Keene, New Hampshire? I said, that's only an hour and 20 minutes away from me. It's pretty much one road straight shot. You're there. I said, gee, I don't think they're going to get that much close. And I didn't know about this. I didn't hear anyone talk about it. It goes to show you that bands that post stuff can still educate people out there and get them in the know. So always promote your stuff, bands. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go. This is crazy. So I go onto the website for the venue. It's at a fairgrounds. And essentially, with a lot of places in COVID, like people are renting out these fairgrounds to put out shows. So this company rented out this fairground to put on these summer shows. And I go on, and it's still all this COVID safe stuff. Okay. So essentially the deal is at this venue in Keene at the fairgrounds, if you want to go to a show, they're having shows all summer, you have to buy a pod. Now the pod contains 5 tickets, socially distanced. So each pod is 6 feet apart from every other pod and even yards from the stage. So you're not even close to the stage. You're really fucking far. So not only are you 6 feet apart of everyone, you're way far. This comes into play because it goes into the story where I'm going. So I'm looking at the pod. Each ticket's like $60, and you have to buy 5. And I'm like, fuck. And I love Dinosaur Jr. I love him, and I'm like, I can't. First of all, I don't have 5 people to go last minute. I think I texted you, and I remember you were like, dude, I'm at work. This is Friday night, show Saturday. This is as last minute as you can think about going to a show. So I fell asleep thinking I'm not going to go, right? I post something on Instagram on my story. I said, I worked sound production if you guys don't know, I worked sound production for 7 years. I still work at the local music hall when there's shows. So I know some people in the sound production business. I was trying to figure out who was hosting the show, who was put on the show, because I was going to try to get a pass. So I put on my Instagram, any production people or know anyone who's working the Dinosaur Jr. show. So I get a couple people back saying, oh, let me do some research for you. I think my friend. So long story short, it's 5 o'clock Saturday, the day of the show. I get out of work, couple contacts that were going to hit me back were like, oh, man, they're not responding. I'm really sorry. I think they're doing it. So I get home, and my wife, she's like, oh, how's it going? Are you going to go to the show? Because I was telling her I was thinking about going. And I was like, I was really hoping that one of my friends that works in production was going to come through with some backstage passes, because I wasn't going to pay for the pod. Just going to make that clear. It was out of the mind. I love the band, but that was not going to happen. It was completely no. I wanted to go backstage so I could avoid the pod and the price and be really close to the band, all 3. So she's like, listen, I'm still going to do this photo shoot and hang out with my friend. She was doing a photo shoot with her friend on Saturday night. So I said, oh, yeah, that's right. So I got thinking. I needed to clear my head. I had been working. My grandma's sick. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go. I'm going to drive to Keene because, A, at worst, I can bring my camera and take some pictures along the way and drive back and clear my head, play some music. My wife had already planned, so whatever. So I get my car, bring my camera, and I start driving. The show's at 7, so I didn't have much time to waste. So leave here at 5, right after work, and I'm driving down. I get to Keene, and I start thinking about 10 minutes before I roll up, because I know exactly where it is because I go that way to my way to Rhode Island. So I knew the landscape of what I was going to walk into. And I knew that this fairgrounds is huge and has fences all the way around. I was like, all right, What's the worst going to happen if I jump a fence? What's the worst? They're going to
No fucking
no.
way.
Listen. Here's a story, and I'm not lying about this. I swear. This is not the story, but this is where I'm going. So I'm thinking in my head, what's the worst? You're going to kick me out, just like everyone has snuck into a show mostly or try to get past. We've all been there. They're going to catch you and say leave. Pretty much. They're not going to call the cops. They're not doing that shit. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm stewing. I'm 10 minutes away. All right, I could probably do it. I mean, I knew the fairground was not running the event. This was in a third-party thing, so it's not like it's all going to be guarded. So I said, fuck it. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. That's going to be my backup plan. But what I am going to do is just do what I do at shows. Just do what I do all around. Just act like you're supposed to be there. Just go in.
You're not going to act like you were working the show as
Yes.
a sound engineer technician guy.
Yes, a backline tech. So I had put it in my head, and I swear on my mother's life, I get the story in my head. And if you're going to do it, you have to be confident and you got to do it. You got to have your story straight and you cannot. And it was just keep in mind, it was just me. I didn't have anyone else in the car. So I knew that it was just going to be me that had to deal with this. So I'm getting nervous. I'm getting shook up. I see the fairground. I take a right and there's a bunch of people. There's two gates. One that turns left for all the people who are paying for the pods, and one that goes straight for the stage. All right, and there's two security. Okay, one for each thing. And the first person I had to go is for the main entrance for the stuff. So I was straight laced gonna do this. I go up to the first guy, and I said, "Hello, I'm here working loadout tonight. I was supposed to come at 10 when the show goes, but my tech guy said I could come hang for the show because he said it's supposed to be good." So he said, "Oh, you're working the stage?" Yeah. He's like, "Just go down to the next one." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." Dude, I swear on my mom's life. I swear. So I go up. Here's the crazy part. The second guy's holding the clipboard. He's holding the clipboard, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be it. If I get caught, this is, he's got the names. Like, I was like, oh, shit, this is it. He's going to. So I get there, and if anyone knows me, I give him the, "Hey, how's it going, man?" The grand shit.
Hey, but I know you, don't I?
Pretty much, yeah. And dude, I cannot even joke you. I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm working loadout. I'm a backline tech for the band." Straight, that's all I said. And I use words like, because I used to work sound production, still do. Backline, loadout. The guy's like, this guy, and I had my Ramon shirt on. I looked like I was supposed to be there. And he's like, "Yeah, man, no problem. Just go there. Just be careful for this cone over here because there's a ditch there." I'm shaking. I park my car. I have no pass. No pass, no nothing. No, he didn't ask my name or no nothing. I am freaking the fuck out because I was just like, oh my God. I still thought I was going to get caught. Park my car and I get out and I get my phone up, just to look like I'm doing something and kind of blend. And I see some firefighters. They were parked up there. And I'm like, all right, I got to make friends and quick. I got to make just the feel like I'm jiving. So I go up there and they're right next to the stage. And I'm like, "Hey guys, it looks like it's going to be a good show tonight. And everything is nice." And so I'm jumping with them. And I talk with them for about 20 minutes. And everyone backstage is, just kind of glancing over and they, seeing me jive with them. And they see me that, I'm played in band. So I look like I'm supposed to be there. So after that, fucking Dinosaur Jr. starts playing, and I'm like, shit my pants. And I go up front to the side stage, right side stage, and no one is asking me anything. I'm sitting there as close could be, looking at the pods, laughing, and this kid came up to me, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. I have nothing back there. I have no paperwork. I have nothing. And he's like, "Man, I cannot believe this. A year and a half after COVID, I can't believe that they're playing." I'm like, "Me too." So I'm driving with this random dude. Turns out that he's like friends with the band. And then this other dude comes back, and I was getting scared. Or like, this is it. This is it. This is where I'm getting kicked out. And I was like 20 minutes into the show. This big dude walks back. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm talking to this dude, and luckily this dude's like, oh man, he's like, I want you to meet this guy. And I was driving with him because he knew my name. It's the fucking tour manager, Dinosaur Jr. And he's like, I can't lie. And he's super chill. He's like, oh man, this is our first gig out. They were just so stoked to be playing. And I'm talking, and I'm like, man, I was thinking about getting tickets for the show in November. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, listen, here's my number. I'm going to hook you up. And this is all happening. And I'm sitting there watching the set with these two people. And I'm like blown away by the tone, by the environment, and all the fear of getting kicked out is gone. Because I know I've already made homies. I've already made enough connections where if they're going to kick me out, Dan, I can't lie about this story. Dude, so it was amazing. And I had nothing to lose. My wife was going. My grandma's been sick. I've been all jacked up. It's only an hour and 20 minutes away. And I was going to jump the fence. I was like, what are they going to do? I'm not paying for this fucking pod. They're going to see my fat ass jumping over a fence and say, get the fuck out. And I was going to go to fucking, park across the street and try to hear what they're going to do. But, dude, I was as close as they could get. I snuck the fuck in. Anyone can do it. You got to look like you're there. Just fucking be in your zone. It's the most amazing story. I've done it at other shows, but this is the biggest show.
That's, all right. That's pretty incredible. And how long did they play?
Fucking 2.5 hours. Almost 3. They took a break. Dude, they're incredible. They played for like an hour and a half. He ended the song. Jay put his guitar down to his tech, walked down the ramp, which was right next to me, and just sat down on the U-Haul truck. And I wasn't gonna go up to him. I knew they weren't done. And he just sat there for 5 minutes, just catching his breath. Fucking went up there, fucking did another hour and a half. And the other dudes were just hanging on stage. And I also know that Jay, he's the kind of dude that you don't want to roll up on. He's just a quiet fucking, you watch any interview, he's just like, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I knew you don't roll up on that cat. You just got to, and that's the thing. You got to know your shit. When you do this type of stuff, I knew there was no risk. They're going to say, get lost, kid. Yeah, I'm not going to, but you got to go in there confident. And I'm kind of an outgoing guy anyways. So I just said, all right, going in there, use these 2 big words and hope for the best. Sometimes faking it is making it. Everyone knows
awesome. That. That's a great story. And Dinosaur Jr. just released a new album too.
Yes, they did. It's fucking great. It's great. I wish I could tell you that one of my friends hooked me up with a pass, but dude, that's what happened. And I was going to get one. The guy never texts back. But man, it's really not hard. I think anyone can do this at shows. You just have to be really confident, and you just have to really just be really set on what you're going to do. You can't have other people in the car. Because that, you can't, you got to you can't have anyone being doing this, It would have looked super suspicious if I had 3 other fucking people in the car being yeah, we're just here to work the show. It's kind of
I'll tell a similar story at some point down the road on how River City Rebels snuck in to one of the biggest festivals and tried to get on the stage and play.
Tell it now.
No.
Why?
No, it involves Bruce Springsteen, Little Steven, and we'll save. I think we'll save that for. Maybe the second half of this episode. Maybe we can. You got
to fucking. This is sneaking the show and stuff. But to finish this story, should we go to the questions? I have a second part, but let's go to the Nick the concert crash. Yo, bro, Sean, it's the truth.
And G said, should have told him you're from Canada.
I am
that
French.
Might have worked too.
I'm French Canadian.
Oh, Ryan, Rebel Gaming Club says deceiver. He's saying he
Dude.
might be lying about this.
All right, I'm just saying. I swear on my mom's life. So that's just. I mean, as deep as I'm going to go with that one. So, yeah. I mean,
What's up, Pest?
Oh man.
Dino rules. RBK likes Dinosaur Jr. I mean,
Yep.
If you play guitar, Dinosaur Jr. really should be one of your favorite bands of all time because Jay Mascis as a guitar player is just miles above like most people.
Yeah, and all these people that say they're into sad boy music, Dinosaur Jr. was the fucking like one of the original sad boy. You know what I mean? The fuck? Oh, I like sad music. I never hear people talk about Dino Jr. Oh, I like Jawbreaker. Okay, that's fine. But fucking Dino Jr. was even doing it before that.
That's
What
true.
are you talking about?
Dez is saying unreal.
Dude. The only people who know are I haven't told how I did it. This is the first unreleasing right here.
RBK says he needs the first Folk Implosion too. He needs that for his collection. You know Folk Implosion?
Yep. I know of them.
It's the bass player from Dinosaur Jr., his band.
He was in a hardcore band that like early on, that's how they met. That's how Jay and him met, right? And then he went on to do all that other stuff. And the drummer was in Lemonheads. He was in the Lemonheads.
Murph has played in Lemonheads.
Yeah, Murph, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Scotty Boys asking when I'm going to finish this Wii collection. Only 3 games. I'm in no rush. It might never happen, but there's always something to look forward to, right? GW Foley says, holy shit, Nick.
GW, love you, buddy. I know. You just got to fake it till you make it. I mean.
Evan says Smiths and Cure are sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true too. But like, I'm talking about the new age millennials, you know. They got to get in it, you know.
It doesn't take much to get Nick riled up, all right?
No fucking doesn't. I mean, Evan ain't wrong. I mean, it's sad shit. Some of that stuff. When Jay talked about how he like met his wife, he was like, I was at the worst point in my life. Yeah, I mean, some of that shit is it's sad. It's crazy, but there's a part 2 to this story.
Oh, okay. Let's continue this.
It's not so. They played a set. It was amazing, and first of all, I'm like super emotional because this is the first concert I went to in a year and a half, and second of all, it's like, what a band to see your first show back, and like, dude, a 3-piece band sounded so fucking big. I saw Maiden 2 summers ago. Dinosaur Jr. sounded fucking bigger, like fatter than Maiden. I'm not even joking. I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, holy fuck. Here it is. So, amazing show. Everyone gets off. And I'm like playing it cool because I'm like, all right, I want to like hang out. I want to like meet some people. I want to go on stage. I want the whole bit because I'm already backstage. I'm like, all right, I'm going. So I waited about 15, 20 minutes after everyone's leaving. They thought they were going to do an encore. They didn't. They're just like, no. I mean, they're old dudes. They're just, nope. And, dude, they didn't say anything between songs. Nothing. They played their fucking songs, and it was all in a row, and that was it. They didn't talk. They didn't say anything. It was just all music. It was awesome. So, anyways, I waited 20 minutes. And I made that same dude. I made friends with the tour manager. He's like, "You want to come up on stage?" Because I told him I was a guitar player. And he's like, "Oh, you gotta come up here." So if you look at my Instagram, I'm not lying.
No, yeah, you're on stage.
I'm fucking on stage, and I'm fucking talking to the guitar tech. And he's like, "Yeah, this is what he uses." And I mean, the high watt, the fucking plexi, all of it, all there. And he's like, "You want a picture in front of it?" I'm like, yeah. Fucking, I got the picture in front of it. Go on my Instagram if no one believes me. Took a bunch of pictures of his setup. His pedal board's fucking crazy, as you know. And I'm just sitting there. fucking go down, and there's all the band. And like I said, Jay was just, he kind of pretty much, he didn't want to hang out. He's not a chatter. Murph, though, Murph was all about fucking hanging out. I go up to him, I'm like, yo, man, fucking awesome show. And he's just like, yeah, man, I love your shirt. Because I had my Ramon shirt on. So we're talking about that. I know that he loves BMX. I fucking read all the articles and his music videos. They're fucking, he's riding BMX like 40 years old. It's fucking crazy. And we just get talking, man. And he's like, yeah, we're playing Connecticut tomorrow. It's so weird. He's like, I thought we'd suck because this is our first show in a year and a half. It's just weird talking to these musicians, but it's like no one was on COVID. They sounded like they were on tour for the last year and a half.
I mean, let's be honest. They've been on tour for
I know it,
the last 25 years.
It's true.
30 years.
But it's just like one of those things that you think you know this little bit of a break would get them. It wasn't though. And so I got a picture with them also on my Instagram. And yeah, dude, like get back, dude. Go to the merch tent and everything. I mean, free food. They're handing me pizza and all and drinks. Take it home because they were throwing it away. I'm like, dude, I was just like, yo, this is fucking crazy. Like, I've taken snare drums into shows and act like, you know, oh, I'm with the band. But this was like another level, man. And dude, I'm not saying I'm saying that this shit's easier than all you think. Like, I know I did my part with kind of being outgoing and kind of doing my part. But dude, I'm telling you, all you guys in the chat, you can do it. You just have to. I think confidence.
Well, the problem is most people don't roll alone. That would be
that's
the problem.
True. That would be the problem.
You got to roll alone if you're going to do that. That's the problem.
But that's my Dinosaur Jr. story. It was amazing. But I want to hear a little bit about when you saw them a couple years ago too, if you want.
Yeah, no. When I saw them, they played at Higher Ground, which is a club in Burlington, Vermont, that holds about 700 people, I'd say.
Yeah, about 7. Yeah.
I got there early. It was I think it was on right around the time they released "Bet on the Sky," which is my favorite album by them. I was front and center, right in front of Jay Mascis's amp, and the same deal. They played for about an hour and a half, super loud,
so loud,
and really inspiring. The only thing that sucked about it was you couldn't hear Jay's voice over the fucking PA because his shit was so loud.
So loud, so loud. Now you know what the front of house tech said because when I was on stage talking gear, no joke. Another thing I'm not joking about. He was like, dude, I don't even put fucking Jay's guitar rig in the mains. He's like, I don't. He's like, most of what you hear out there is his fucking stage volume. This is fucking stage volume, dude.
Well, the stuff he does on guitar, you need to have that kind of level of volume on stage because the effects he does, when he plays, you really need volume as opposed to, you know.
Dude, and to be honest, as a guitar player, and as you know, because you're a guitar player too, he is the only fucking guy I know. Maybe Tom from Rage Against the Machine. Besides him, those two dudes, probably the only dudes I know that use that many pedals but keep a tone that's so fucking good. Like, usually if you have so many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak, the main tone sucks. But I don't know how he does it. But, like, every pedal he had, it sounded amazing. It's just, he just knows what he's doing. It's a fucking madman. He just knows what he's doing.
Incredible. And as far as drummers and bass players go, he's got two of the best. They're just rock solid and just keep it going. So he's pretty much free to do whatever he wants on the guitar.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah. And those 3 amps, he uses all of them. I talked to him too. Everyone's like, oh, they're for a show. I'm like, no, they're fucking not, dude. He uses all 3 of those full stacks. Not even joking.
I love it. Yeah, I'm glad you saw it because when I saw it years ago, I told you, I was like, you got to come see the show, Nick. And you're like, I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I would have fucking went, man. Life is crazy sometimes because honestly, I definitely fell into that place where I took music for granted a little bit. Shows. If there was a show, sometimes I wouldn't push myself out, you know? I think this COVID thing was like kind of gave me the butt, and I was like, I didn't even know if I was going to make it in. I'm just trying to fucking put some effort, and it was so close. An hour and 20 minutes. And Vermont, you're not going to get that much. You're not going to get that much closer. You're just not.
All right, let's go back to the comments then. I've never heard of Dinosaur Jr. What is the first song I should listen to?
Freak Scene. I mean, that's a popular one. I mean, Feel the Pain. I mean, that's
Pain. Feel the Pain is the one everyone should know, and is probably the best way to like experience it for the first time. For me, Bet on the Sky was the album, the whole thing from start to finish. And that's late in their career to release an album that really kind of, it struck me because early on, Dinosaur Jr., I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. Bet on the Sky was like, whoa, I understand what's going on here. Then I went back to the early stuff and I understood it a whole lot more than I did prior.
Yeah, and it's so weird because all their backgrounds, if you guys don't know, is based in like hardcore punk, but also hippie shit. So you have Grateful Dead influences. You know what I mean? Like they're all like these mod kind of like heart. They love like Drop Dead and all these like Gangrene, like all these bands.
Yeah, all the hardcore bands.
Yeah,
like
but Western Mass. Yeah, but they're just a band that they don't sound like anything.
RBK saying Dandy Warhols. I can get behind the Dandy Warhols.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Jay Maskus' Signature is a great guitar for the price. I don't like the signatures, but his is great. I have that signature guitar, and I just had it fixed up and retuned up, and the thing is amazing. I love it. The thing sounds great.
It's fucking cool. It is cool. Drake, wait a minute. Are you saying you don't believe me?
He might be saying you're a liar.
Listen, motherfucker. Listen. Go to my Instagram page, X Heart Foundation.
It's up there.
I'm fucking standing on stage.
Grand Champ, what's Math the band?
Listen, that's not like that. That's like that, like mathcore band, is it? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
You would assume that would be it.
I think. I don't know. Oh, I have video.
Yeah, Nick sent video of him. I was at work when he sent it. I'm like, why is Nick at this show for one? How did he get in? Two? And
and three. Yeah, I have video, man. I can't lie. Why would I lie about this?
Oh, John's with us. What up, John?
John, what's up, buddy?
What else we got here? Fuzz on Fuzz. He has so many big muff. No, it's true.
That Russian big.
He'll stack that shit right on top of
you. He does. That's what he does.
It sounds great. Anyone else tries to do that, it's just like
that's what I mean. I don't know. He's just a madman. He's fucking crazy. He's a madman.
Oh, and G's saying you need spy glasses next time to capture all that footage.
Now you believe me, or you still don't? I'll post about it.
Yeah, Brandon, there's tons of videos on his setup on YouTube. I've watched a few of them. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
shit.
He's got the high watt. He's got fucking 2 plexis. That's what he had at the show.
Ricardo, I do still have my GameCube complete collection. And do you know how much your GameCube collection is worth?
Oh, that's a good question.
Papa Pete just looked it up for me and did all the math. I want to say it's like, I don't know, 20,000 maybe. I don't know.
It's got
to be wrong. 18,000 or something like that.
It's got to be more than that.
Yeah. Oh, Evan said Math the band is a punk and chiptune band. Okay.
What's it? Chiptune? What is
chiptune's like 8-bit video game
okay.
Like, that kind of dance and video game music, really. Chiptunes, just with made with that.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You guys ever have to perform sick? How hard is that?
Yeah.
Crazy Joe says.
I have.
Do you have any stories you can remember?
Yep. Well, this one's fucking crazy. I think you've probably played this place, I'm sure of. Maybe, I don't know if they were doing shows, but Odd Fellow Temples and Burlington, Vermont. Not only was I sick, but I fucking broke my ankle. This is years ago. This is when I was in my high school band. I broke my fucking ankle in the parking lot. So I didn't break it. I like severely fucked it up. And bringing my cabin. And fucking, I just remember Crust Punks putting cold 40 ounces on my fucking foot. And I played sick. Would have broken it. I mean, it was a fucking wreck. I was fucking limping around. I was fucking, yeah. That's pretty much that. My biggest fucking.
I remember one time, it was years back. We were opening up for Catch 22 down in Hartford, Connecticut, and we were driving down that day. But the problem was we got like 1.5 feet of snow, and on top of that, I had a fever of like 101. So I had to shovel out my whole driveway by myself before the other band members got there so they could park their cars.
Oh my God.
And then we drove to the show. I'm still like just sweating. I mean, I played that show that night with a fever. I sweated all out though. I felt great after the show. But
I bet.
The worst experience of being sick and trying to like battle through a snowstorm just to get to the show.
You can't miss a show with Catch 22, especially back in the glory days like
that
with them. Yeah, you can't.
That was a big show. So
that band's fucking awesome.
Sebadoh rules too. Yeah, that's the other project from the.
They were in a lot. They were all in a lot. I mean, if you look at interviews, they had disagreements. Then they got back together in the late '90s, early 2000s, or something like that. It's fucking great stuff.
Evan says, have you ever gone to see a band that you haven't heard of on a whim and ended up liking them?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Well, I don't think this counts because we've played with thousands of bands that we didn't know who they were opening up for whatever band we were in. So and I mean, 1 out of every like 200 would be one I would like. So it's happened a few times.
I'll tell you one fucking thing I can tell you, the opposite of this question, and I bet you can too. Bands that are opening on tour with national headline bands that are fucking terrible. I saw Bad Religion at fucking Higher Ground, and they were touring with this band that had just got signed to Epitaph because the connection there. And dude, fucking garbage. And I don't even say that a lot about bands. But this, I was just like, I'm like, you guys are fucking touring with Bad Religion? My fucking nephew could play fucking better than that. I'm like, God damn.
Well, it's funny. When I went and saw the Bosstones back in high school, the Amazing Royal Crowns opened up for them. And that's how I found out about them. And they turned out to be one of my favorite bands of all time. So
it works that way too.
It really does. Every once in a while, you do get lucky and you catch an opener that just blows away the headliner. And that was one of those nights to me.
That does happen. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Scotty Boy says he looked up Dinosaur Jr. and he's heard of Feel the Pain, the song.
You know what I found out about that song?
What's that?
Is it the music video? Them golfing around New York City and stuff. Jay's mom was like a huge golfer. Like she was like a really big into golf. I don't know if it ties into the music video at all. I don't know. But like if you do research, like his mom was like a really big deal golfer.
Oh.
Which is weird. So I mean, I don't know. I have no clue if that ties in, but it's just I was reading up on it. I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Crazy Joe says he saw System of a Down open for a no-name band in Seattle. I told my friends they were going to be big, and they all laughed at me. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
you catch one of these bands before they take off, and usually they are opening for whatever. Though everyone has to start somewhere. You don't start at the top.
No.
Almost ever. There's a few bands that have started at the top, but most you got to kind of dive through the shit to make it to that point.
You know what's funny about Seattle? Another Dinosaur Jr. Fact with Seattle I read a little while ago is that fucking old Kurt Cobain asked Jay to be in Nirvana like twice. I don't know if that's true, but like, and I guess he just couldn't do it because he lived in Massachusetts.
I mean, I'm sure everyone has been like, "Hey Jay, you want to be in my band?"
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's just be honest.
You'd have to be foolish not to want him.
I mean, that's the greater point right there. Be honest, Kurt Cobain couldn't play guitar for shit, so he needed all the help he could get.
Scotty Boy's saying they will be in Cleveland October 1st.
Yeah, that's that tour I was telling you about. That Bob and I, if everything looks good with this fucking COVID shit, we're going. Already got it set up.
Let's do it. I'm all for it.
How T?
How T?
What does that mean? How T?
I don't know.
How do you cook? How go back to that. What do you mean, Evan, by that?
Scotty Boy, he's saying he's a basic bitch. His favorite musician is Dave Grohl.
That's not bad. That's not whatever.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the beauty of music is there's so much of it out there. There's so much to learn about. There's all these different subgenres and cultures and movements they're deep. They're really deep. And the more you learn about it, the more you see it's all connected. And it gets you excited about music. And just there's so much. You can listen to new music every single day for the rest of your life, or new to you.
Yeah,
it can be music from the 70s, from the 80s, stuff you haven't heard. It's fun to discover.
So much. And that, yeah, I mean, so how far you want to go and how much time you want to get. And if you thrift, if you go thrifting, you can actually find a lot of cool bands that way. You
just buy it based on the cover.
Yeah. What's a dollar CD that has a cool cover? Yeah.
Oh, Evan's asking, yeah, no, chickpeas. It's in my diet every single week. I use them to mix with my wheat meat. So, yeah, chickpeas are great, really versatile and high in protein. So they make you feel good.
Chickpeas.
He accidentally sent it early, so I got cut
That
off.
makes sense.
Jeff says he used to hate Queen. Now he can't go a week without jamming to Queen. Musical maturity is never ending, and it's true. Just because you don't get something at this time doesn't mean you won't get it in like 2 or 3 years from now. And those are some of the best bands that you if you love it right away, there might be something wrong there. Maybe it's a little too sugary, and then you realize these bands that take a little time and acquire taste. Once you get there, it's a deeper appreciation for whatever it is. Music.
And and you also become more open-minded. I think I have, in the sense of like when I was in high school, the staple cover bands were like the Pistols, Sex Pistols, the Ramones, and I remember feeling like I don't want to like listen to those bands. Like everyone's going around. I want to like listen to stuff that's like underground because I want to be cool. But then it didn't take me long to be like, all right, yeah, they're popular and everyone likes them, but there's a reason too. Sometimes, not all cases, but with the Ramones, definitely.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a ton of bands that you could, that I've had that experience with where I didn't understand it at the moment, but then, a year later, all of a sudden it clicks and you're like, wait a minute, I know this, but why do I know this? Because you tried to listen to it the first time, it didn't make any sense. So a band, I even remember the Replacements, the first time I heard Tim.
Right.
That album, it didn't really make sense. And I'm like, there's something here, but I don't know if I get it. And then like 2 years later, I'm like, holy shit, this is a perfect album, But at the time, I didn't have enough knowledge in what I was listening to quite understand that.
Oh, definitely.
Scotty Boy, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Bye, Scotty. Thanks, man.
Shaun of the Dead made Crazy Joe decide to give Queen another chance. It's a great movie, and Queen's great. The problem is now with Queen, there was that movie, so there's this resurgence in the popularity, and Queen's done this a few times because Wayne's World.
Yeah,
I mean, Wayne's World put him back on the map when that movie came out, and then obviously with the Queen movie coming out,
that dude. Yeah.
And Queen is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
there's like 10 other bands from that same time period that I would probably prefer over, but no one's talking about Slade. No one's talking about Sweet. No one's talking about T-Rex. No one's talking about Mott the Hoople. So those bands to me are just a little deeper and less appreciated. So I appreciate them more. And but Queen is great. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I would take all those bands over Queen if I had to. Jeff says sometimes you have to develop a sort of relationship with the tone of the story being told.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. If you know the story behind what made that band come together and that record and how it's being made, it changes the whole perspective. You're like, these guys are legit. They're really doing something they believed in, as opposed to, some fake ass bitches putting a band together and pretending to be something they're really not.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Nope. That's a really good point as well, man. Yeah. Totally.
I've always hated bands that everyone liked in middle school, but go back to them now and realize how good they are.
I mean, not every case, but it's just one of those things that for me, I didn't want to follow suit because to me, I wanted to be punk and I wanted to go against what everyone liked. And I think those crust kids that are, have rich parents are like that. They're like,
well, Radiohead was that way in high school. I hated Radiohead because everyone was listening to them. And then, 4 or 5 years later, on my own terms, I fell in love with Radiohead easily.
Even
top 50 band for me.
Even like a name like Springsteen, like when you're a kid, like you just don't get it. But I mean, when you hit your 20s and fucking 30s, and you're like, "Yep, absolutely, it's amazing." It's even. I'm happy that I discovered it in my 20s and going into my 30s more than if I did when I was 14, because I wouldn't have had the respect for it. So I'm almost like, I never was connected to it until I was went through some shit.
It's 100% true. It's all these bands. It's just the right time, right place. Never be closed-minded to anything. And there's a reason why these things are classic to begin with, or timeless. It's just you have to understand why that is, and it's like putting a puzzle together. You'll figure it out eventually if you stick with it. Sometimes you got to go in the back door though to figure out why. It's not as easy as just walking through that front door, and it's accessible for you. I've been, Nick, I've been trying this for years with you.
Yes,
you're a tough one to crack.
But you know what? I've been, and the thing is, a lot, sometimes going through stuff is understanding. And, I've always, anytime you pitch me something, I've always been I took it because it might take a while for me to understand if I like it or not. But there's so much. And honestly, too, it's all what rings true inside. And I think I'm probably more open-minded than some of the folks in our band in the group chat, where if I pitched, Kevin something, sometimes it's Ishmael right away. I let it fly. But I will tell you, the Bay City Rollers, right away. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Bands like that, phenomenal.
Yeah, no, and there's a like I said, there's a ton of them, and it's just I miss the days of having music mentors in my life where they knew more than I did and could just feed me this shit, because I had a bunch of mentors when I was younger, and they were feeding me the Cramps, they were feeding me Black and stuff like that, and it was just filling my head, and I'm like, I gotta trust these guys because they've been around, they know.
You're my music mentor, Dan. Oh, and that's the thing, is that we're close in age, but you've been around that much longer than me, especially in the scene. So it's okay, and that's
all the stuff I collect. It's not I'm just taking references from other people. I'm not. I just take it all in. It's everyone that's ever been part of my life. Everyone comes in with a favorite band, and they'll say, "Hey, check this out." And that's how you find out about these bands, really.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And And it's weird too because moods too. Sometimes I'm in the mood. If it's summertime, I want to listen to like the Bouncing Souls. Sometimes in wintertime, I want to listen to fucking My War by Black Flag. So it's there's so much though. There's so much that goes into it.
Crazy Joe's out. Have
Crazy
a good night,
Joe.
bud. Thanks for
Good to
hanging
see you,
out.
bud.
Appreciate you. John says that his son Evan, he does the whole mascara and runs around the house in skull thong.
It's awesome.
Gotta
That's
rock and roll,
awesome.
man. You gotta rock and roll. Evan says, I feel like music you listen to is sort of that your identity until you get older and realize it doesn't matter. You can make it like anything. No, it's true.
True.
And I think it's
True.
important that because you want to be like, oh, I'm fucking punk rock. I'm this. I'm
Right.
that. I'm hardcore. And you realize, well,
Right.
how does that work? No. We're
There's so much
individuals
more.
that like this music, but we're a filter, and you take it in. But to say I'm punk rock is fucking stupid.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing is that that's why rock and roll, like I kind of say rock and roll because it is all rock and roll to me in a weird way. I know that sounds stupid, but it is, man. It fucking like if it embodies passion and spirit and heart, fucking, I mean, you know what I mean? If you listen to something and be like, yeah, I might not like it, but you know that these motherfuckers, whoever made it, did it. They want, it's not garbage that they just didn't put out. That's for me, man,
Oh, no, John is saying, no, me. Oh, I run around. No.
I do.
Oh,
Nice.
he was talking to, so there's the confusion there. He was talking to Evan. Oh, I see. Because John has a son named Evan, too. So there you could see how the confusion happened there in my brain. I wasn't putting two and two together, No, it's tough to read these as they're coming in without like pre-reading them because you're really
Right.
just you're going for it and you're trying to yeah. Richard Brian Kahn was talking about Kid A up here by Radiohead being the best. That was Kid A was the album I used to get drunk to on tour. Pass out in the bunk, I'd have headphones on. Kid A was always the album I would play. All fucked up, but it was good. And the Bends too. Bends is a wonderful Radiohead album. Really, really good. My old friend Dennis here. Dennis is from the band Plan a Project. Records like you referenced, Tim, doesn't sound like what you've heard, so it takes a minute to catch up. When it's bands that you sound like another band, it's relatable but rarely long-lasting. No, that's true. That is 100% true because you don't have an ear for it, so there's no reference point to be like, oh, I get this. I should like this. But you're not wrong on that at all. That's true.
Yeah.
And that's happened. I mean, there's countless bands. It really is. First time you hear something that you don't understand, it does take a second. Oh, what do we got here? At 35, my wife asked me, why must we have the discharge floor to ceiling flag in the living room still? She was right.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, listen, I'll take that. I'll take having that in my living room more than the fucking big giant fucking like weed Rasta sign hanging out.
Or like slogans on the wall, like
little letters, live, laugh, love.
Yeah, some stupid shit like that. No, put the discharge flag up. We're good. I mean,
we're fucking great with that. So I would nix it. Oh, weren't they like a heavy metal band, T-Ride?
Yeah.
Like from like California or Oregon or something like that.
It's 80s stuff.
Yeah. They were like a heavy. I actually used to play with this band from New York, and I don't know if you remember them, but they were called She Rides, which I always thought was a awesome name. They were like a rock and roll kind of like mid-tempo band. Probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, John's
90s.
in the 90s. He sent me the link before. I've checked him out.
Yeah, I knew that they pretty like riffy.
A little riffy. The only problem I had with them is the production is very dated. You can that time period
Yeah.
where everything sounded like they all
Reverb.
went to the same studio and they just produced it the same way. It was kind of a victim of some of that where
Yeah, some of that shit's just like garbage.
it kills some of the live aspect because there's gates and fucking reverb and shit.
Oh, they loved the gates back then. They loved turning the fucking bass down to nothing. It was all about the guitars.
Yep.
Barely had the fucking bass in it.
So we got 5 more minutes here, guys.
5 more minutes. We made the hour. So, listen, what do you guys want to see more? Leave a comment, even if we're not here for Rebel Rock. Do you want more interviews? Should we deep dive albums? Just let us know because we're always looking for some feedback. Should we deep dive albums? Should we do band interviews? Should we go on site and travel once things get better and do stuff, on site? Let us know.
Well, I mean, Richard Brian Kahn's already saying, can we do one of these about Madonna soon?
I mean, I'm down.
I love Madonna. I have a poster hanging on my wall over here. Like I could do an album breakdown. I got no problem with going through the catalog.
She was like the first, really. I mean, one of the not the first, but I mean,
yeah, no, like, she was right there, ground zero, kind of.
One the Michael Jackson of that era, if you will, for women.
John saying there's nothing like T-Ride. So, yeah, no, it's definitely cool stuff. Really good players. Randall's saying all of the above, Nick. So interviews, album breakdown. We're trying to get more organized over here.
We're working a lot. I fucking have family shit going on. It's just crazy, man. We're all trying to do our best. There's still, I think, a lot of the fallout from COVID. Even though COVID's starting to get better, there's still a major fallout of work and trying to figure out, okay, do I have time for fucking, people at work, this and that?
Jeff says maybe touring / show location videos or other nostalgic stuff. We talked about this a couple weeks ago that there was a new River City Rebels CBGB's live performance from 2001, I believe,
cool.
2002, somewhere in that time period where I just taken over singing. And we were thinking that we could do like a show review on that and actually show the video and kind of break it down. That'd
be really cool.
It would be fun. I haven't watched the whole thing, so I might be able to give some insight on something like that, and we could just talk about the set.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I think we should still do that.
I don't know how copyright would work on something like that, but
be fine.
John said he'll see us next week.
Yeah, man, it's a good way to close it, guys. And thank you, man. Thank you all for fucking hanging out. We had a long week. Both of us kind of fucking hitting it hard this week. So, see.
Yeah, and Badminton Rock. Each guy has a stash of records that aren't disclosed. One person pulls them out of an album, and the other one gives first impression reviews, then alternates back and forth.
That's kind of cool, man. Dennis, yeah.
I do like that idea. I like trying to force someone to listen to something that they're not familiar with, just to get the perspective on it. And that makes for good content anyways, because either it's going to go really well or it's going to go really shitty. So, what year did you all tour with No Jello Kennedys? I saw you at Peabody's in Cleveland, but don't recall the year. That probably would have been 2000, 2001, somewhere in that year span, because Dan McCool was still fronting the band. Or no. Yes. No. Yes.
I think he said he was in the band for that tour. It was right in that transition period. Right
No. It was me fronting the band. So 2001. It would have been like later 2001 is my guess.
After 9/11.
Well, guys, now this has been a blast.
Yeah, it's always fun, man. It's always fun.
Yeah, so we'll try to brainstorm some more ideas, but yeah, I like the whole album,
Cool.
idea. So maybe we'll have to do something like that. I have some guests lined up too that I want to bring on. I want to get some members from the band Madcap.
Yes, I'm a huge Madcap fan. So
I would
that'd
love
be
to
great.
talk the history of Madcap, and we can make that happen. That's for certain. So we got options, but yeah, we'll do something here in the near future on that, and maybe we could even have Dennis on. I bet Dennis would be down to talk.
Let's do it, Dennis. Absolutely.
RBK, have a good night, bud. Guys, we'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.